Hey, Els.
Hi.
Hello.
Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Now the screen is big.
Okay. So, Els, tell me your story and what got you here.
Well, I'm a friend of Marlies who you talked to this morning.
Oh, Marlies. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So actually, she sent me last week a video from you.
Okay.
And I was cleaning my house and I was listening with my earpods
Yeah.
pods on. And I thought like, oh, need to go and sit down now because um, it clicked. It clicked
Beautiful.
instantly. Now I have been on that path for I think about 8 or 9 years.
Oh,
Then I
wow.
I followed actually Muji
Oh, wow.
mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
And when he came into my life on a moment that I was having a burnout, I
Okay.
was down on my couch, and a friend sent me a little movie, and I looked at it, and I thought,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
And when I saw his first satsang, or for me, the first satsang, it was so I felt it so strongly,
Yeah.
but it became fear. Like
Okay.
when I go all the way, I
Yeah.
I, I cease to exist.
Yeah.
So I shut it off.
Yeah.
I didn't go all the way, but it kept, yeah,
Coming
it
up.
kept
Yeah.
coming up all the time, again and again and again. And then I don't know when it already clicked, I think uh, a time ago. I don't know when, but I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that actually it already changed.
Yeah.
But I think in seeing your video last week, it's like boom.
Yeah.
I realized that, yeah, there is nothing
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Everything else is just an illusion.
Yeah. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like building up the
Yeah.
week before that because a lot of situations came that felt again so personal. And I
Yeah.
thought, I came to a point that I didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I like, I've had,
Oh,
it's
you've
too
had
much.
it. Yeah.
I can't, when this is it, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Don't want to live anymore. No more of this.
Yeah.
And so since I have been releasing with Marlies,
Yeah.
because I also did Sedona method.
Sedona method. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it was like day by day that I felt like something is going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
and then it was last Saturday, I think,
So,
that with that video.
which video did you watch?
Um, it was yeah, a man
Okay.
with a beard.
Oh,
I don't
Brandon.
Oh,
Brandon.
Brandon, yeah, I
Yeah.
think it
Yeah.
was Brandon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just talked to his wife before
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
I heard him telling that, oh, I think my wife is going for a one-on-one as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
We had a
true.
beautiful talk too. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
beautiful. Right. She just kept on going, wow.
yeah,
And then at the end of it, she said, I thought I didn't get anything, but and then she just stopped. She goes, oh, I said it's she said she seems stoned, right? It's
yeah,
yeah. So it's
yeah,
beautiful to see two couples. And it's also she watched my videos already and it was clicking for her already, right? So she was like, oh my
yeah,
goodness, right? So she's you know,
yeah,
she's
I,
something
yeah,
is resonating, right? So something
yeah,
that yeah, it's
yeah.
beautiful because it does not require a teaching
No,
or a
nothing.
belief. Yeah, I didn't teach you anything, did I?
Yeah.
No.
And then after that day and the next day, I was like a bit in everything. I felt so in a movie. I was
Yeah.
just moving in a movie, and but I felt like a butterfly going. But then the week started again, and I felt that, but it was also just a feeling and sensation.
Yeah.
I felt it like less,
Hmm.
and um, it became like normal.
Yeah.
And I was for a moment a thought, can it now just be this? Is this just this? Actually, it feels so natural and
It does.
so
Yeah.
simple. And so, what have I been afraid of was like,
Yeah. Well, I think that the thing that um because I similar with you, right? I would listen to some of the gurus, you know what I'm saying? Some of the um um and of course also became a spiritual teacher if you've listened to um what I was afraid of was just like, do I have to be that way? Do I have to be like Muji? Do I have to be like, you know? And at
yeah,
one point, I've shared this story a lot of times. Someone kissed my feet, right, from India because I was a spiritual teacher,
oh
and I felt
yeah,
so uncomfortable. I was like,
oh
oh
yeah,
no,
yeah,
right? And I think that's the time when I didn't want to become a spiritual teacher anymore. I talked to somebody. So I almost had to kill the character of that holy,
yeah,
mala beads, that character. And the way that is seen here, although this is just a story, is that this is just authentically loving what is already you, authentically, whatever shows up, right? So it's being at peace with no matter what.
yeah,
And and
yeah,
it's beautiful freedom, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized also this week came up like, so this means that all my subconscious is gone
Yeah.
because I have been working. I have my own practice. I'm a coach.
Yeah. Again, getting a lot of coaches lately.
And yeah, but for a long time already, I have been like an innerly battle. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. I did a lot of trauma work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Me too.
so
Yeah.
tired of the blah 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 blah. I
Us.
couldn't handle
How
it
many
anymore.
shadows do I have to let go? Saying just never ending.
Yeah,
So much trauma work. How many
yeah,
I know became a teacher,
yeah.
at one point
But
also
me too.
teaching
So
trauma, right? It was just
yeah,
trauma release, all that kind of
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, me too.
shadow
For,
integration, all that
for a
stuff,
long
right?
time, I felt like I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And is it normal that it keeps coming up? Because layer after layer, and
Yeah.
I felt a disappointment also in myself, like, where is this coming from again?
Yeah.
Work
Yeah.
on it. And I also felt some despair in myself, like
Yeah.
I had like wants, like well, actually desires, like to be in a relationship, to have more money,
Yeah.
and it didn't come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how is it possible that with all the work I have done, this doesn't come? What am I
Yeah.
missing here? And I
Yeah.
got so frustrated about that as well, actually.
Yeah. I also had a coach that was a manifestation coach. And basically, she said that she felt bad because she was, talking about abundance. And the only abundance that she was seeing is people signed up to her abundance course when she was feeling very scarce.
Yeah.
And it never really kind of like, she felt like a fraud because here she is talking about manifestation. And then she said at one point, she said she had 5 people that attended and she was hoping for like 50 people or something like that. And then she
Yeah.
didn't have any money to pay for her office rent and everything.
Mhm.
But she felt like a disconnect because she's talking about abundance, but she doesn't even have abundance. So, and then she said, what am I doing wrong? Kind of like what you're saying, right? I can't even manifest. And here I'm teaching manifestation. Did you
Yeah.
feel the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Precisely that. And actually that's also one of the reason I wanted this one-on-one to see a bit more clearly, like I had clients this week. I have two jobs. I combine like a job in the community
Mm-hmm.
where I coordinate stuff, which is actually a very nice job at this moment
Yeah.
because I just go every day and I do what is coming to the table.
Oh,
Like, okay,
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
there are
It's very
some
direct.
meetings. Yeah, it's very direct. Like, oh, they call and they say they delivered the wrong thing. Here, can you check out what's
Yeah,
going on? So I call.
yeah,
Yeah, I also have meetings there in my calendar, which is good. I don't need
yeah,
to remember anything, and the computer tells me when I have a meeting I need to go to.
yeah,
So that's nice as well. That's okay actually. Just yeah, when I'm with people, they have all their stories, and in myself, I'm laughing a bit like, yeah, yeah, they all believe it so badly. So
yeah, yeah,
it's so real for everybody, and
yeah,
I'm like, okay, I could express an opinion, but
yeah,
what does it mean, that opinion?
yeah. And what does it matter really anyway?
What nothing. So I
Yeah,
keep quiet a lot. Um, Then there is my practice here at home, and I also have group activities like a circle of being. So I already did a lot around beingness
yeah,
from everything also that was already
yeah,
happening inside of me. Did a lot of releasing, like Sedona method, and now I'm at the point like, what? How can I continue everything
yeah. Well,
doing?
everything will just flow, right? What's between doing and not doing?
Yeah.
Kind of like what Marlies, I was talking to Marlies, and she's so happy because she said she's also, like a teacher or coach or something, where she's talking about letting go. And she said she used, the in between in her thing, and there was a lot of laughter. And I was so happy. Maybe you
Yeah.
can also incorporate something like that,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it,
I
it
tried
just,
it. Sorry, yeah.
no, no, go ahead.
Well, I tried it also this week and with one person, it was wonderful.
Yeah,
He became so quiet and peaceful,
yeah,
but then there was someone else I tried it with, and there was resistance, and
of
the
course. Yeah,
stories keep coming up, and he just wanted to have some concrete steps he could take, and then I thought, okay, I'll just drop this and
that's okay
give him
too.
what he
Yeah,
needs in the moment. Yeah.
yeah. That's okay too.
It-
Some people are, it's like, what do I need to do? Right. So some people are so accustomed to that, right?
yeah.
And But usually people that come to me, they're ready, almost ready for this, because they've been seeking for such a long time, kind of like you, right? It's like, I'm tired of it. I'm sick
Yeah.
and tired of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like the whole, you know, the
Yeah.
whole marketplace of spirituality.
Mm.
To just come from clarity. Yeah, but even with that person, there's at least something that is almost like a shown to him. Yeah. So it's I'm glad that the other person felt clear, right? So that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I love your directness, and actually, I'm the same.
I
When
can
I
tell. Yeah.
so maybe the words that's about non-duality maybe will come after a
Oh
while
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
I can
There's
use
there's
it
a there's a
for.
coach that she's in Thailand. She's done she's done like about 17 people the last time that I talked to her. And 17 people are already, clear, right? So but it but she met with me because she's very organized kind of person, right? So she said, I'm going to meet with you every day for 2 weeks to get everything, right? So um you don't have to do that, but you can also, if you like something like that, you know what I'm saying? Or some people just watch the videos, the one-on-ones, because
Yeah.
it's all there anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that it's available
Yeah.
directly. You don't
Yeah.
have to believe in any concepts, or learn any kind of whatever, right? So it's just it's just coming into that clear moment where you and I disappear in between,
Yeah.
right? So there's just silence.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
is. And do you still encounter people that keep it off, that don't go all the way, so to speak,
some
because
some people, you know what I'm saying? Some people, there's a resistance, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Or an acceptance. It's in between acceptance and rejection, right? So it has nothing to do with the person.
Yeah.
usually the person that usually rejects it comes
Yeah.
back to me. It's kind
Yeah.
of funny, right? Because there's someone said that I was not getting what you were saying, but there was something that I was curious about because I did feel a bit of peace, right? And even with that fighting, there was this guy that was preparing to go to the monastery to become a monk, right? And because he's so involved in the meditation, I said to him after, sessions, I said, why don't you try that out first? I don't want to take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go to the monastery, right?
Yeah. Go.
Yeah, go, go, go. There's a resistance because you don't know what that is, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, so but usually people come back, and they book with me even after 6 months, even after a year. They usually, it's almost like, and again, this is just a narrative. you know they'll end up back here anyway,
Yeah.
because everything is almost like a concept and a belief system. So this is just one of those things that there's no belief or no concepts or no dogma that's being presented here. And it's
Yeah.
very direct that you don't even have to believe me because
Hmm.
you feel it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So with the person that perhaps, saying that was too much at that moment, right? We'll be curious about it,
Yeah.
because even even without if you want something concrete, that there must be something that will creep up, you know,
Yeah.
some clarity, because this clarity does not require any comprehension. And then
No.
people want to comprehend this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed myself also this last week that I slept not so very good.
Yeah.
I woke up a lot in the night
Yeah.
and I felt a lot of tension, movement in
Yeah.
my head.
I've heard of someone that had that too, right? Because it's
Yeah.
almost like there's an aliveness that you can't explain, right? So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but what are you without that? What are you without that thought? It's almost
Nothing.
just something is just shifting around, right? Because you've
Yeah.
been thinking for such a
Yeah.
long time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
someone
That's
said, someone said that, oh my goodness, Emerson, I had such a like almost like a migraine. And then when the migraine left, he goes, I felt like I didn't have a head. So so it's like he kept on holding on to his head, right? He goes, okay, it's there. It's there. There's gonna be some inexplicable, happenings that happen, right? Like, some people see their face, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be quite different. Again, every undoing, or whatever you might want to call this, is going to appear completely different from each other. It's not going to be two of the same kind.
Yeah.
Like Marley and I have very similar. Hers was, she was speechless, for a couple of days. And but some people don't know how to make of it, right? So some people can't sleep. They're like, what's going on, right? It's like a disorientation of
Yeah.
something, right? Because the clarity is trying to settle in, but you have a lot of belief systems. And then one day you're like, oh, where's that belief? Or some people even have some anxiety,
Hmm.
some depression, and they can't seem to find that anxiety or depression now. Or some people have addictions sometimes that they come in, right? So even the thought is an addiction. So it's
Yeah.
almost like a withdrawal if you look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So some
Yeah.
people are going to experience in different kinds of withdrawal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There was this person, for example, that basically said, oh, Emerson, I could not stop laughing. It was inappropriate, but I could not stop laughing.
Mm.
Even if it was inappropriate, like he'll just burst into laughter in a bus, and he goes, he had to get out of the bus.
Yeah. Lisa
Because,
and I had it a lot together when we talked about it,
oh,
that
you guys were laughing a lot. Yeah.
we just laughed. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so also like goals and desires, they drop away.
Yeah.
I feel
The
that as
next,
such a
it's
big
most, it's
relief.
the next goes away, right? Because
Yeah.
it
Even though
maintains.
I still would like to have a
Yeah,
partner.
yeah. Of course. Yeah,
I
yeah.
would like to have more money.
Yeah, of course. Why not? You know what I'm saying? But there's sobriety to it now.
Yeah.
It's just not a thought anymore, right? So instead of manifesting, maybe go to a bar and dress sexy.
Yeah, yeah.
and if you're and if you're lucky, you'll meet someone with money. You know what I'm saying? At least you'll have fun, you know, saying go with
Yeah,
Marlies, you know, saying go dancing.
yeah.
Shake what your mama gave you, you know.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah. Instead of
Yeah,
waiting around looking at the board, your manifestation board, your vision board, why not go out and go dancing?
yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, for a long time I had more and more difficulty to release, to read, to
Yeah,
whatever. It's like, and now there's nothing. I'm
yeah,
just here and
yeah,
I eat because I feel hungry. I feel like I want to move. I go for a walk. I do
yeah,
my sessions. I
yeah,
like that. Like, yeah. I now had to plan the my program
yeah.
for now
Change it.
till oh, yeah, I put some dates in it and I think, and what am I going to do? Like, I have
Yeah,
a weekend in 3 weeks' time. I organize a weekend, but it's also bit strange. I only, up until now, I have only 4 people who
yeah,
subscribe. And the only thing I can feel is it's going to be very direct
yeah. I have a feeling. I have a very direct. Yeah, yeah,
and go to the point a whole weekend.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Keep going
beautiful.
to the point.
Yeah,
Like, cut the crap, or how do you
it
say it?
is. Yeah, it is.
I cannot hear the stories anymore.
Yeah,
Like, even when someone starts to tell something,
yeah,
I have the how the tendency, is it the right word? Yeah,
yeah,
to cut in and say.
yeah,
So I don't even feel enough of patience anymore to just
yeah, yeah,
let them talk and talk and talk
yeah,
and no, can't handle it anymore. So,
yeah. Some people complain when I cut off people, but I'm like, you know what? It's a part of it. Cutting off people is because they get so caught up in the narrative, in the story of me, self, I, right? And then you go and say that, but what are you without that I? What are you without the belief of the me? And then they're like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. Kind of like what happens when you were listening to my videos, right? You're probably like, what the hell? It just goes directly. Right?
yeah, usually because I think I've seen 5 of them now. I think I've watched every day one of your
Yeah,
videos. And I think most of the time, the ones that I looked at, in the first 5 minutes, it is done.
yeah,
Like, and I think like, what's happening?
yeah.
But are that then people who are ready for it? So who click in, like actually happened also with me last week.
Yeah. And it's funny, Marlisa doesn't even know what non-duality is.
No, she told me
So,
to.
so even that story that you have to be ready for it is just another story, you know what I'm saying? Because here's Marlise that she, I was laughing so hard with her. I was like you
Yeah,
don't know what non-duality is. She's like, no. But the way that she's expressing it is so clear now, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As if
She's
she's known non-duality all her life, right? It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
so clear. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like an instant boom, you know, it's like wow, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Like you as well. You know what I'm saying? There's clarity already, right?
yeah,
It's just almost like some what do you call it again? Purging of what's no longer needed.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But there's already clarity. So like it's like
yeah,
the clarity has already hit the
yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. This week I did notice at some point, but it's really, really strange. Marlisa and I, every day we have texted
Yeah.
and or we talked because yeah, it's just it's only her I can talk to and she's only me
Yeah.
to talk to about it. So and it's like every day we experienced kind of the same things.
Oh,
So
wow.
that we were laughing like, how is it possible? I had the same idea or the same fear, or because she did had it me too, like for a moment, like, oh, can I lose this again? Like this
Yeah,
was
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. That's a
between,
common thing that
is it
everyone thinks.
still
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
As if Ah,
It's beautiful though, isn't it? Right? This because it doesn't have any kind of author.
yeah,
It doesn't have it's not called a message or
yeah,
communication or a, anything or awareness, or it doesn't have any words to it.
no,
Yeah.
no, because like when Muji talks, so there is like what there is the witnesser
Yeah,
who
yeah,
witnesses everything. And then he asks all the time, like, and is the witnesser being watched or being seen as well?
yeah,
So for me was always the moment that I like came into beingness.
yeah.
But now I see like beingness is also just arising from emptiness.
It is. It's just even a word. What's even a beingness?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
is like, yeah, for
yeah.
me, it's like,
So even the witness doesn't make sense to you anymore, doesn't it?
no.
No. Maybe you've surpassed Muji.
Look, I was there in the whole month of June. I was
Yeah.
in Portugal.
Oh, this
Yeah,
month? Just this year?
this
Oh, wow.
year.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
because I felt like everything was at that point, like there was a man in my life,
Yeah,
uh, but it was a complicated situation, and
yeah,
finally chose somebody else. There was my job, I didn't know anymore. There was the money thing. I really was like, I thought I need to find a job again. So
yeah.
I think it will be good that I, besides of my practice, I also have
Mhm.
a job that I have at least that income every month. It will give
Yeah,
me some peace, and from that I can see whatever happens. So
yeah,
all of a sudden, I cleared my schedule. I made contact with Portugal, not his ashram, because that was closed at the time,
yeah, yeah.
just when you were invited. But nearby there was another place that they accept guests. So I sent an application and I
Hmm.
could come. So it was
Okay. Oh,
arranged
wow.
in 2 3 days. I took off to Portugal, and in
So
staying
this
there,
the Sahaj just closed, in
well, Sahaja is not now, it's open again,
it's open again. Oh, okay.
but he took a period of rest. When I
Okay.
was there, he had a rest, and then guests were not allowed. Even the Sangha in the neighborhood couldn't come to Sahaja, just
Okay.
visit the Christ Chapel. That was the only space
Mm.
that was open. So I went there every week, once or twice, to sit, and that was really special also for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Energy there and everything. But for me, it was not so. So I didn't see Muji, but that was not so. I didn't go for
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
because for me, I see all the people like Guruji.
Guruji, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, no, no,
yeah.
no, that doesn't work for me. And then in being there, I noticed, and I felt disappointed, like for the people in that community where I stayed for a month, that so much personal stuff was there, the stories,
Yeah.
the and communication that was really so bad, and that actually they were using a bit
Hmm.
how to say, awareness
Yeah.
as a cover story for
Yeah.
personal stuff. You,
Yeah.
you know what I tried to
Yeah,
explain?
yeah, yeah. It becomes
And
it becomes the narrative, right? It becomes the
yeah,
truth. It becomes
but it doesn't feel clean. It
it doesn't
doesn't,
feel authentic.
yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was okay with it since I was just witnessing it
Hmm.
and just staying there for a month. So
Yeah.
I thought like, okay, but if I would live there, I would have to speak up about it, because for me it didn't feel
It didn't
uh
make sense, right? It
it
did.
didn't know. I thought, how is it possible for you people who live for years already here around Muji? You hear
Yeah.
his thoughts every day, and
Yeah.
that you still don't or hold on to the
Yeah.
person and ego and the mind stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just looking at it and
Yeah. And that's again, you know what, that's also what was seen, that when it becomes a concept, it becomes a belief system, it's almost accepted as the absolute,
yeah,
and there's no more questions behind it, right? There's no it becomes infallible, it becomes the absolute truth. And so it's nothing different from like the Catholic Church, or so it just becomes that. And even with non-duality too, right? When
mhm,
people start believing, when they start repeating or defending a belief system, then it just becomes, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was nothing that was taught here. There was nothing even that needed to be believed here. It just was clear. It was just so direct that the clarity does not require any kind of language.
no,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that to notice now in Muji's talks, he is also now more direct to the point and doesn't listen to the stories anymore.
Oh,
And
okay.
he is more direct,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I love. He even sent people away from Sahaja while I was there.
Oh,
I heard from people because he said it doesn't serve you to be here. You just cocoon in a little field, but you don't get it. So
okay. Oh, wow.
go into the world again and
Yeah.
see what happens.
That's good. That's good to hear.
I liked it
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. It's a departure from that old structure of, the
Yeah,
Guruji structure,
yeah,
right? Of,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
of, because I felt so uncomfortable at one point because I was also put in a pedestal as a spiritual teacher,
yeah,
for my narrative, right? And
yeah,
it just did not feel right, to be the owner of the truth, or to not the owner, but the knower of the truth. Because if people are just being honest, then it falls apart quite quickly,
yeah,
because it's just a belief.
yeah,
It's just a belief that is passed on as a belief, right? So it's like passing down something that you just blindly agreed with
yeah,
because of the lineage and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Um, but it's very, let me just say, it's very outdated, the
yeah,
belief system. The guru structure, the speaker, the teacher, person on a pedestal is just so
yeah,
um, codependent that
yeah,
someone has the power and you don't, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
how
I,
can their liberation appear when someone seems to have an interpretation or an idea of it, and you have to learn that idea of liberation? Then you just learn liberation by trying to understand
mm,
what is being shared. Yeah. Although
mhm.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So now there's this new kind of like era that like coaches, like, you can share this now, because people would say that, oh, you can't be a coach and do this stuff, right? It's like breaking all the myths about this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about, I can feel it also sometimes with people that come to me.
Yeah.
They also have a tendency to put me on a pedestal.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know so much more. You are so much further. You are this, you are
Yeah.
that. And it's like I need to bring that back to
Yeah. And that's why
not,
I like doing the one-on-ones more
yeah,
more than the Q&A now, right? Because the Q&A just
yeah,
poses that someone knows the answers,
yeah,
and whatever you say, it becomes the truth, or becomes gospel to people, right? So because you know what, there's this platform for speakers of non-duality that has just been established as a hierarchy.
mm,
There's really no hierarchy. That's just another concept. It's just another idea. So when there's this directness and openness and friendliness, it's like a new thing.
yeah,
Because in the past, there's always been someone that knows, and even people that talk to me, some people are afraid,
Yeah.
Because they're afraid that maybe my third eye chakra will shoot through my hat, and dissolve them, and they won't be able to function again. That's why I wear my hat. It's to hide
Yeah.
that, my third eye,
Yeah. I believe that.
yeah. and and you know what, it's like the old school of like the soft spoken guru
Oh yeah.
that
Mhm.
pauses every word,
Mm.
and when
Mm.
it can be so immediate and just have like a DJ
Great.
cut to the crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
just it's
true.
just it because if it's really too simple, how come it can't be shown?
Yeah.
Why out of those thousand of people, not even one or two, it's like spending a month, with somebody thinking that by grace, it's like the same thing as going to a casino and hoping to win the jackpot, right? So
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
good comparison, yeah. But at the same time, being afraid of winning it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What if I became a billionaire? But
Yeah.
no one's here to collect
No.
the billion.
Oh, that's too bad. What to do with all the
What
money?
if I win the jackpot, but I'm not there to collect it? Damn it.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
no one has won this jackpot except, the teacher, what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But the jackpot keeps on going higher and higher, but no one ever wins it.
True.
Because if
Yeah.
someone won it, then there'll be, just like normal business, right? There'll be a competition right beside it called Sahaja too. But no
Yeah.
one ever wins it at that at that community, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Well,
it's a it's a horrible casino that because
oh
you keep
yeah.
on hearing ding 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 ding, like the cash is coming and
Come.
they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't claim it because I'm no longer here." Damn it. And the person goes, "I'm gonna win the casino." And then all of a sudden you win it again. You're like, "Oh, I'm not here to claim." So the jackpot just keeps on going and going and going higher, right? Because yeah.
Oh, so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm here to claim the prize. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I thought you were not there."
Yeah. Real good non-duality jokes.
Yeah. So what's the jackpot? It's like apparently $1 billion now. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
wow, but no one can claim it. But why
Oh,
is everyone playing this the
yeah.
slot machines? They're like, well, they're waiting.
That's like an addiction too, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Keep going to win it. Oh my goodness. I
Yeah,
did it as well. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, we keep going until, yeah.
yeah,
Oh. This week I had a circle and I thought, how am I going to do this? Normally it's like we sing mantras, there's a
yeah,
meditation, but like a meditation, not something that comes through me. Like
yeah,
it's not something prepared or whatever.
yeah,
And this time it was like going very direct as well.
yeah.
And
Oh, good.
afterwards, I asked people like, how did you experience it? How are you feeling now? And Some said like, yeah, I was like in it and then not in it, and I got distracted and then I got back, and it's a bit like that.
Oh, beautiful.
I thought that was already really good. And then afterwards, I thought we drink a little, some tea and a biscuit. And I thought, like, am I going to share something about my experience?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was telling it.
Oh, wow.
And and then there was my brother, in fact, who was there, and he started to share about how he um, got over certain fears. So actually, he because I talked about liberation and freedom and
Yeah.
everything that dropped away, but he was still talking about the person. I wasn't talking about the
Oh,
person
yeah, yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
And then I find it a bit like, yeah, he's my brother, he's older. And then I thought, but I just said it like, yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I said, I'm talking about something completely different. And then I had the feeling like everybody was sitting there like, what is she talking
Talking
about?
about, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, and then I thought, maybe I shouldn't have said it, spoken
yeah.
about it. I don't know. So that's for me still a little bit of,
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't feel the need to talk about it at
yeah,
my,
yeah.
for
Well, you know
example.
what? It's an unfolding, right? So you'll find your own authenticity, how to express it, right? So
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
like about this, it doesn't have to be the way that I speak about it. It will be your way,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's and the thing that has been happening with non-duality is you've come from the awareness camp, then you talk about like that. If you come from the radical side, then it becomes almost like a parroting. What I like about this one is that there's authenticity now that's showing up, right? So you can even do whatever you're doing and then
yeah,
just incorporate something that is just very direct, right? So you can go into story and then direct. For you, I think you're more a direct character now.
yeah,
So so for example, Marley's, you know what I'm saying, is more kind of like, oh, let's let go first and then direct, so
I think she's also quite direct
she's
now.
quite direct now. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you have to be direct to be able to see through all of the fog, right? Because
yeah,
if you keep on talking about, if you keep on putting the fog machine on,
yeah,
right, then it's
yeah,
going to be it's going to be,
yeah,
confusing for people. But when you clear all of the fog and you just say, okay,
yeah,
this can't be talked about, right? But
true,
here it is. Here's an attempt.
true.
And there's more kind of like honesty, with authenticity, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
it's not, you're not just memorizing someone's words or, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
going with like what, going back to say like what Muji said or whatever. It's
yeah,
coming from the authenticity. And I
yeah,
think that's how the directness usually can like goes really, um, it takes no prisoners basically,
yeah,
right? So it's raw, it's
yeah,
intimate. And
yeah,
and I think the more the authentic the character that expresses this, and that's why, like, like you can go to many people, for example, that follows a speaker or a teacher, and there's a whole bunch of people that under them, if you notice,
yeah,
right, that's speaking about the same thing. Is that
yeah.
because you're just regurgitating something that they've heard from someone?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Their undoing might be genuine and everything, but
mm-hmm.
why not speak from that genuineness
Yeah,
and not just base it from someone's talk
yeah,
about it? Yeah.
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 Well, now you're saying it like that, it comes up that before I also channeled.
Yeah, I did too at one point, but I got out of it quite fast.
Well, now I have something like I can't do it anymore, I think.
That's what I did. I was like, it only lasted for me for 2 weeks because the person that was my master channeler basically said, was basically saying that, oh, you're really good, Emerson. But I kind of know that it was BS at one point. Did you feel that way too?
Well, actually, it was like when I channeled, it was like a collective of higher self.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it felt like that. So it
Yeah.
felt quite genuine.
Yeah, I did too at one
Quite,
point, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
when I couldn't do it anymore because I was doubting it, right? Because I'm like, it's just thoughts in my head. It's just all
Well,
thoughts. Yeah.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I have now also. Like,
Yeah.
where does that come from, what I channel? Like
Yeah.
when there is nothing,
Yeah.
okay, everything arises in the nothing, So
Yeah.
also that voice, but people that like come in a weekend with me, there was always a moment that I channeled little messages for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
They love it so
Oh
much.
yeah, yeah. It's the same thing with like the a tarot card reader, right? You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't doubt them and everything, but a lot of it is also just thoughts. And that's
Mm.
okay. And that's perfect. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it, right? So, but if you know, it's almost like it's almost like for me, I see it like a play now, like a little
Yeah.
game, right? You
Yeah.
know,
I see
that
everything a bit like
people think
that.
so seriously,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But now I can it's yeah, probably now I'll just go into a belly laugh if I hear it.
Yeah. But because
It might
now
be
the
insulting for some people, you know.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
respect, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's just
Yeah.
like there's room for everyone in this illusion.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
That's it. I
yeah.
see it also as part of the illusion.
It is.
Just when I realized, like they talk body, mind, soul,
Hmm.
I see now soul is also part of the illusion.
Yeah, yeah.
It is
It
also
is. Yeah,
something that is evolving and that is changing. And yeah, and well, the truth of what we are is not changing. Like it is just what it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it can't even be known.
Yeah.
It can't even be known. It can't even be comprehended. It can't even be, it can't be imagined.
No.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
In my seeking and me trying to be able to get to the next, I was believing that. And when I challenged my belief, I walked away from it. I'm like, okay, right?
Yeah.
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 It's just sobriety from all of the things that we think that we are, including soul, including, you know, international, not international, interdimensional beings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just another, another perception. But what are you without your perception? Then there's peace. There's peace even with all of that going on. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything is just play,
Yeah.
including what I'm saying is just play.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing better here or worse, right? It's just play.
Yeah.
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 So
Is it then also like I can enjoy just being on my own because then there are no words needed?
yeah. So for
Just
example, with me, I was the same thing, like um yeah, being up on your own is great.
yeah.
Yeah. Or not. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I know, but yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's nice to connect with other people as well, but
Yeah.
not in the blah blah blah. I find it very tiring.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
me too now, right? So if there's an attraction sometimes, I'm saying it's when the blah 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 happens, the attraction goes, okay, right, it's okay.
Oh,
There's more love for the character now than the
yeah,
desire to be with another. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
There's
yeah,
just because there's so much contentment here. And
yeah,
in the story, when I was chasing one relationship after the other,
yeah,
I was miserable.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see it also like in the and now when I look back at the last years, last couple of years, like in that difficult relationship as well, he taught me um to let go
Yeah.
of love in any kind of form
Oh,
and just let love be love because when I
oh,
see
okay.
him,
I like that. Yeah.
there is still so much love.
Yeah.
When I think of him, my heart is filled with love.
Oh,
Like,
that's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And it's you know what? And it shows up in without any thoughts about it. Love is just love.
yeah,
It's very plain. It's very simple, right?
yeah,
Not our concept or ideas of it. We make it complex
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
personal and
Yeah, and
conditional.
yeah,
Yeah. And fractured.
expectations and yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
So without the idea of love, it's all love.
yeah.
That's basically it. Yeah.
And peace.
Without looking for peace, it's already peace. It's
Yeah.
silly, right? The freedom from all ideas of freedom is freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit like how I what I've written now, like a little text, because there's social media and stuff, and I find it all very difficult. I don't like it actually.
Yeah, yeah,
I need to, yeah. I don't know where people can come from. Like I even at some point I thought I'm going to stop everything from
yeah,
my own coaching business. I don't want to do it anymore. Now I feel like I think it's in a transition.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
going to get another. And I wrote also like we can try to make the person as free as possible or free ourselves from the person. And that's
Exactly.
what
Yeah.
I want to do actually. That,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah.
It's beautiful. Let me know what I can do to help. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Although you
Okay.
probably don't need help, but just in
Yeah.
case you need, yeah. Yeah. I
Thank
love
you.
sharing. I love sharing this clarity, right? Not mine to share, but the clarity that can't be spoken.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
such a joy, right? It's such a joy. And
Yeah.
especially when I hear like Marlies and you doing something that can perhaps expand this into your audience and everything, right? And it's
Yeah.
beautiful without
Sure.
me calling it my own Emerson's way or
Oh,
Emerson's,
yeah.
no, 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 no. Right?
Yeah.
It's not a smart business decision. If I was a smart businessman, I would have been trademarking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, no. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
What's the
think
point of that?
when you know the truth of what is,
Yeah.
also that drops away.
Yeah. And you know what? Even at my brokest, you know, the contentment overflows even in a place of lack or something, right? So because this
Yeah.
is something that I can think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really there's no scarcity and there's no abundance. It's in
Mhm.
between that. Whatever
Yeah.
shows up.
Yeah.
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 And I didn't know that there was going to get some response. Like I get so many emails every day now, people just listening and saying
Mhm.
that, oh, what's happening here? Right. So, and
Great.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. You're watching the time.
No, because I don't have a memory. And I'm like, is it an hour now or is it 30 minutes? That's why.
I don't know either. I'm not looking for anything.
Let me
So
check.
I
Okay.
think I'm
Just a
counting on
second.
you.
Oh, we have 6 minutes left. Sorry.
Okay, good.
I thought it was 30 minutes. I'm like, because one person sometimes, yeah, it's funny, right? Because I go for walks in the morning and
Yeah.
then there's just so much quietness,
Yeah.
because it's the morning and there's no thoughts really.
Yeah.
So I have to sometimes I look at my watch and I'm like, so I have the alarm now, right? Because
Yeah.
before I didn't even know that that I'm late like 30 minutes and I'm running. I'm like, oh my goodness. Sorry, 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 sorry. I don't have a concept of time because I can sit under a tree, right? And just disappear for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even when someone is late, it's funny, right? They're like writing me this email, like, I'm so sorry, Emerson. I'm running late. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'm just looking at the screen. I'm looking at the camera lens. I said, no problem. Because are you okay? I'm like, yeah, yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, it's just,
Yeah,
so,
great.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah. That's, what I noticed also this week is like I'm driving so much slower with my car. I'm
Yeah.
just like, and I think, oh, maybe I could give a little bit more.
Life becomes unhurried. There's no more rush, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
there's just this nice flow to it. Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
becomes this
yeah. I think,
immediate.
yeah, I feel now more what flow really is. It's like just being in the moment and let it unfold, let it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Between acceptance and rejection, what's there?
yeah, nothing. Empty.
my third eye chakra in between my eyebrow. That is
And
made
it's
of
functioning
diamond
good?
light. Is that?
Is it still functioning good?
Maybe it needs some polishing, you know. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I need to bring it to the shop, you know, and tune it up and everything so it's aligned, you know, perfectly.
Actually, do you still work as a DJ?
I do, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Once in a while, I love it, right? So
Yeah.
it's such a joy. And I went to an underground club and
Oh,
DJ at 3 o'clock in the morning.
okay.
Everybody's intoxicated. Here I am, kind of like with this you know, energy and everything. And there was this there was this girl with a key of cocaine, you know, up to here, going like this, trying to give it to me. And I'm like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. The bouncer right away goes, how did you get here? I was
Yeah.
not offended at all. I was just like, oh
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do love it. I do love it. I
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind doing more. One of the best DJ gigs that I got was for kids. Someone hired me as a kid party DJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good. You see kids
Yeah.
jumping up and down and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and then
Now,
happy and
now you talk about kids, like I coordinate three teams of people who take care of kids before and after school and also during the day and holidays.
oh nice.
Like I heard you say in one of your videos, like energy, actually, what is energy? It is also just a concept or a
It is, yeah.
word.
It is just a word, yeah.
But on the other hand, I do think that like when you're really awake and like that people, I see
Get
some,
attracted to you.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
easier because you don't have a lot. And this is just a story, of course, right? So, you know, I was just talking to someone earlier. I said, you know what? The people that are attracted to me are usually kids and animals.
because yeah, I was going to one of the places where they were working with kids, and there was one child who came
Mhm.
to me, gave me a hand, didn't
Yeah,
say anything, and the woman who works with the children said, "That's strange. He never
yeah.
goes to anybody,
That's
and he
it. Yeah.
comes to you and gives you a hand."
The same thing happens to me. There's just, you know,
Yeah,
on a we were dining one time and there was this I think maybe a 1 year old, 2 year old that just kept on looking at me.
yeah.
Looking at me just went like this, just
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
But
that's
I'm gonna
yeah,
stop the recording because
that's good.